Hey y'all, let's pull a reading, shall we? I wanted to do something different, and this reading is a completely timeless reading. This reading is very open to whatever comes forth and is open to interpretation as well. I will read this as I will, with my own biases and my own life experience. So I'd really like to know, and what I ask the universe is, where are my watchers? Where are they in this highway of life? What where are they going? As a metaphor, of course, where are you on your journey? So the Fool, it's pretty auspicious. Of course, this is the Ford Thunderbird from the movie Thelma and Louise. Not exactly a starting point, but an ending point. But still, I think she had good intentions when she used this card. All right, so we're just gonna do probably 4 cards, and then we'll do clarifiers. So yeah, let's just do it, shall we? We have the 9 of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands, the Hanged Man, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. The Lovers very, very, here, let me get the glare here. The Lovers very, 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 very rarely come out in this deck. So it's kind of a big deal. Little blip there, sorry about that, but you know how it is if you've watched this channel more than one time. We've got dogs. All right, so the Lovers never ever comes out in this deck. But it's here. And then underneath that, the Ace of Cups, the Death card, the King of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles, and the Empress. Yeah. So wow. Geez, there is, where you are on this highway is elevated. You're on a brand new freeway flyover. That's where you are. Brand new flyover in that gobbledygook spaghetti mess of a highway interchange. You are at the top level, going probably 30 miles an hour faster than the speed limit, making that turn around. You know, it's funny because this evening, the reason that I wanted to do this poll was because I was driving home on the highway. And now stop, now really. So I'm driving home on the highway, and I see a Rolls-Royce Phantom at an interchange that's not exactly, you know, what you would expect, where you expect a Rolls-Royce Phantom. But, you know, right next to it was a Mitsubishi Mirage. I wish it was a Mirage, but no, they're real. Anyway, they, if you've been to my channel more than once, you also know how much I loathe and despise the Mitsubishi Mirage. Anyway, so, you know, I mean, the concept is that we can be on the same piece of highway in vastly different vehicles, right? And what does that vehicle metaphor look like? Is it how much we know? Is it our learning? Is it our physical body? Probably not. Is it our, you know, is it our level of spirituality? Is it our level of love? Is it our understanding of the world? Is it who, you know, however you want to interpret that as the vehicle that we're driving on this highway of life for this journey is your interpretation. It really is up to you, because that's how you exist in the world, and that's what's important. The things that matter to you are what make life worth living, and then vis-a-vis what make life so. We're all just souls in beautiful bodies on this earth, and we're all on those highways together. But what on the outside looks like a vast disparity, the difference between a Rolls-Royce Phantom and the difference between a Mitsubishi Mirage, are actually essentially the same thing, okay? So I think that my sort of lesson to you, or my sort of advice to you, would be that sort of take it seriously and take each other seriously, regardless of the status that you seek, right? Okay. This is a nice highway where you're at, this place on the highway. I want some good cards to clarify it. I want my new deck, but it's not here yet. So we're going to do a little animal deck. Yeah. So I want you to understand the metaphor, maybe, if you don't already, the metaphor that I made of that flyover. Okay. You have to drive 30 miles an hour faster than the speed limit on a highway exchange flyover. You've got to know what you're doing, right? You've got to know how to drive. You also have to have a really good viewpoint, perspective of the world, of the highway. You have to trust. You have to trust that coming around that bend will be the other side. Let me be a little vulnerable with you all. Life has not always been a bowl of cherries for me. And at one point I was so fight or flight mode because of the living situation that I was in. And I was so anxious, and I was so paranoid and really hypervigilant that I was not a good driver. Because I was so timid, and because I didn't even want to be a passenger on overpasses, because I didn't trust anything that was coming toward me at all, because of the lack of trust I had in my life in general. So that being said, you cannot drive like that if you're on that piece of overpass. We'll get to those. All right. So we have the 3 of Swords as the bottom card for the 9 of Cups. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, it was already good. Now it's really good. I'm going to pull the 4th. We're going to have the 4th, yeah, because there was just something underneath. Yeah, so it's like pieces of a puzzle coming together. Something's clicking or is about to click for you. Something's clicking or is about to click. Something's about to make sense. There were things in your life that did not make much sense. And for the time being, you decided that it's okay and that you could just let them not make sense. Like you could just put them away and say, I'm not going to try to figure this out anymore because it's not worth my effort and time. And instead, I'm just going to let it be what it is. It is what it is. I don't know everything, and I'm not going to force myself into knowing this. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, click, 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 like a bank vault, like a frickin' bank vault. Those secrets come to light. Click, 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 and then you open the gate, the vault door, and there you are. I think that for those of you who are in your feminine energy, I think there's 2 groups right now who's watching this. I think there are those of you who are getting into your feminine energy. If you already were, it's going to get deeper. And if you have been struggling, or if you've been on the road to find it, then the time is right. The time is right now, and you have sort of all of the support of the universe behind you. The universe has your back. And you see this now. You see the universe has your back, and you see these things making sense. For those of you who are in your masculine energy, this is happening to the feminine energy around you. Okay? If that makes them more or less approachable, then that's up to you. Let's do the Ace of Wands here. Yeah, the Mitsubishi Mirage. I wish it was a Mirage. Because, man. And I say this never having been in one, of course. I don't need to. I know how a Mitsubishi rides. Okay? And I'm sorry if you do have a Mitsubishi Mirage and you love it. Please go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, and help me figure this out, really, because I don't know everything, and I'd really love for you to change my mind. Try to get your friends to watch too, and you guys can subscribe and really try to change my mind about this. Ace of Wands, we have the Nine of Cups. Does that look familiar? There's a lot of repeating cards in all the readings I've been doing lately. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Two of Cups. Yeah. Wow, what is the bottom card? Yeah, the Moon. So there's, man, it's almost like you're starting to realize the self-sabotage. And this is for everybody. Everybody who's watching this, I think there's a new light, a new understanding coming, or has come already to you, but definitely coming around the bend in the highway. Once you make that turn on the flyover, I think your perspective and understanding of yourself, like, you're going to start seeing self-sabotage for what it is, versus blaming the other person, shifting blame, or creating a fantasy, or making up stories, or keeping secrets from yourself. You're going to start seeing that self-sabotage for what it is. And a lot of it does have to do with sort of karmic connections that have been too powerful for you to work through, or to communicate in, or too powerful for the other person to work through and communicate in. I think there, okay, I'm just going to stay here for just one moment, because I think that this is really important. There's a level, I'm not just going to blow it off and say, oh, well, you start to see your self-sabotage. Good for you. No. Let's rewind a little bit, and I will extend compassion here, because you absolutely need to yourself and to the other person. So when this does come up and you start to see self-sabotage for what it is, please take a moment, recognize it. Growing from it is your only chance right now. You can't just, like I did, okay? Like I just did. I exemplified this, okay? So you're going to be tempted to just go on with your life, just like I was about to draw for the Hanged Man. You need to stop. You need to recognize. You need to really parse this out. Give yourself some compassion. And if you need to, give them some compassion and understanding, and really get into forgiveness so that you can grow out of this and make different choices next time, whether it's journaling about it, talking to a professional about it, really meditating on it for like a whole month. You don't want to be in that place again. You don't want to self-sabotage. Life is too goddamn short to live the same day over and over and over. So, show yourself some compassion. Don't get too far in your head about it. Just forgive yourself and forgive the other person. God bless you. The Queen of Wands doesn't always get the love that she needs, that she deserves, because of some of the other aspects of the Queen of Wands. You can absolutely be Queen of Wands, loving, compassionate energy. Okay. I mean, this is real shit, folks. I definitely care about y'all, and I want you to, you know, if I have something to say and share, I'm not gonna just go on about, obviously I'm not gonna do readings just for likes. That's pretty clear. All right, Hanged Man. We have justice. Yes, we do. Yeah, and lately I've been getting a lot of the moon cycles sort of being present. I think, this last new moon was such, oh my gosh. If you weren't, like, go back to if you don't know what the moon has been doing because you're working too hard or something, like, go back and look it up when the new moon was, because, I mean, it was, what, a week, 10 days ago, right? It was 10 days ago, 11 days ago. Anyway, go back to that day and try to remember what you were doing. I bet you a nickel to a hole in a donut, you were absolutely wrecked with emotion that day. It was a rough one. So I think that throughout the rest of this month, especially, and whenever you're watching this, again, this is a timeless reading, but the moon cycles are going to be really strong right here. I mean, if you think about it in my little analogy on the flyover, you're closer to the moon, literally closer to the moon than anyone else, because you're at the top of the flyover, okay? So things are going to affect you more, whether it's new moon, full moon, quarter moon sometimes. All right, that just reminded me of that. I had that thought earlier today about y'all. We have the 8 of Cups, and we have the World, and we have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, this is, the 8 of Cups isn't a negative card intrinsically. There can be a lot of value in recognizing, intellectualizing, in really studying how we have misstepped to break our cups, to break our hearts, to alienate ourselves into a situation where we are this, bereft, miserable, sad, emotional sort of person who's, having, if something's so bad that you have to walk away from it, drive away from it, leave a note or a voice note and go. Pack your shit and go. If it's that bad, it got bad, right? If you literally have to walk away and drive away, it got bad. So I think between the Ace of Wands and the World and the Two of Swords, we have a new understanding of what takes us to the 8 of Cups, what makes us break. So be blessed in this new perspective, in your understanding of your own emotional vibrancy. you're lucky that you get 8 broken cups, right? We're lucky if we get to a place that happens. Again, life is short. Live it. It's not a time to be careful or take stock or whatever. This is like you're on it's almost like, when I visualize it, it's almost like this, the hanged man is right at that tipping point of that highway where you know what I'm talking about, when you're in the flyover, where you are almost to the top of it. And so all you can see is like 20 feet of highway in front of you and then the sky. You know what I'm talking about, right? I guess you wouldn't if you ride in a bus, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. It's elating. All you see is the sky and about 20 feet of highway. You, in that situation, I'm going to bring you back to what was at the bottom of our deck, the Fool. You got to have faith. You got to use the knowledge and the perspective that you gained from the past. And then delight in the view at the time, you know? Whenever you're in the situation where there is a view, take note. That's why I like sunsets so goddamn much. Like, if I'm in the present of a sunset, you take a minute. You take a minute. Because number one, you don't get an unlimited supply of those beautiful things. And number two, like, it causes you to stop and have gratitude and take notice of the world around you without your own, rat wheel spinning. Okay, enough about that. I hope that makes sense. Ah, the lovers. Okay. So, you might or might not know this, but you probably do. But the lovers in the original deck, this deck right here, they used to have more meanings. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to pull the lovers when you're doing a love reading, for example, or when the lovers come out. It's like, of course, because we're all so sensitive, and anybody who, I mean that in such a good way, anybody who's reading tarot or watching tarot has a deeper connection to sort of esoteric different dimensions, right? And so we recognize love and connection, and we kind of yearn for that, because that's, if you ask me, that's our original source. Like, that's the universe. That's the stuff of the universe, is love. So of course we're all going to get excited when we pull the Lovers card. I get it. But it's more than the Lovers, because it is, especially in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it can be referred to as the choice. Now, depending on your view of the universe, whether or not we have free will, and of course, in my opinion, we absolutely have free will. It's what fucks us up all the time, excuse my French. But the choice can either be, it's a major arcana card, so maybe it is not your choice, maybe it's not free will, or maybe it is. I think in this case, that's what's pulling me more, is this idea of choice. I think if anything, it's going to be the hiccup in this situation. Let's check. I did shuffle it. We are correct. Oh, we've got the 10 of Cups. That's very auspicious to start with. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the 2 of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Okay. Wow. And the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that. No hiccups here. It's just me. That's part of my bias, right? That's my bias coming through. So, yeah, y'all. Wow. So the surface reading is obviously that there is some type of spiritual choice that you're making, and part of it has to do with again, so we put in some work, we know what we're doing, we've had this sort of new breakthrough and new perspective, and now it's sort of time to harvest that a little bit into a different spiritual dimension or modality. And this could be a friendship, it could be a relationship, it could be a connection to source in terms of spirituality, it could also be a connection toward another person in a romantic relationship. I'm not getting a huge pull of that. Maybe it's a few of you, but yeah, that's really kind of nice. I see you coming in pretty hot in that understanding. So I think the Two of Wands would give us a tiny bit of pause. Just be careful when you're making the choice, whatever it might be, when you come to those places in your life, in your moment, in that flyover, of using sort of all the information that you have. And if you've already made a good choice, kind of stick with it. And if the Two of Wands comes in after you started, so it's like careening off the highway into an exit that you hadn't planned on taking, and you don't know the neighborhood that well, but you saw there was a Burlington coat factory and you need a coat. It's that kind of impulsivity that I would warn about here. All right, the Hierophant. You definitely have all the tools. I think overall this reading is so beautiful because you have the tools at this point in your journey, whether you know it or not. I was going to say whether you like it or not. Maybe that's true too. But whether you know it or not, you have all the tools that you need at this point in the journey. Don't be afraid of your past. Don't be afraid of the history that is going to reconcile, because every day we have a chance to change history. The world is nothing but world history has so many stories of these sort of underdog comebacks, right? So it really, we're often judged by what we were doing last. I know that's true. Look at David Carradine. But rest in peace. But listen, what I'm saying is that we have the opportunity to change today. And if we were to leave the planet today and be remembered by what we were doing today, what would you want to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Don't think about what you were doing 2 weeks ago or a month ago, or the choices that you made that got you into this pickle in the first place. How are you getting out of it? What is your choice going forward? And what kind of vibes are you putting out in the universe? Okay, Hierophant. Speaking of vibes, guys, I did not, I was talking to you and shuffling the cards. That's stupid. Do you know the chances of that? No, really, I don't. Somebody tell me, please. Leave it in the comments. Wow. So again, another card that is sort of this is all about new perspective, okay? Me, you, everybody, new perspective. So a card that normally has this negative connotation, this is not a negative connotation this time for the Four of Cups. Doesn't always have to be the way that we have been taught it is, okay? Boom. Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. So what is secret isn't necessarily bad, right? What's secret isn't necessarily an evil thing or a bad thing or a thing that will lead you, like, see, just because you're keeping some, no, I'm kidding, you're not anymore, right? But you know, we've all kept a dirty little secret or two, right? Or maybe we haven't, but this is not that. I digress. This is not that. This is secrets that you need to know. So these secrets are being communicated to you in this new place, in this new, and I don't want to get too woohoo off the board here. If you want to, now would be a really good time to like go off the radar and start a cult, but I am not necessarily condoning that, okay? You see things and are understanding and being, and people are people, energies, universe, whatever. You're receiving a communication of things that have been secret to you because you weren't ready to learn them, because the timing wasn't right, for whatever reason. You're learning some things that you did not know and that you could consider secrets of the universe, of yourself, of enlightenment, of ways of being, of people, of whatever. You're receiving information that you had no idea about. And ultimately, the growth potential in that and the ability to transform that into something that creates a really abundant, beautiful life on Earth right now is there. Absolutely. 100,000%. I love that. I absolutely love that. What a great reading, y'all. Perfect. I don't even want to do additional cards because, it's all here. I'm actually going to watch this reading because there's so much of this that just was sort of like completely out of my mouth that I didn't even realize I was saying, that it's a powerful reading. Yeah, I think overall this place, these lessons, understandings, this new perspective, and your connection to potentially new people, but you're re-understanding, you're relearning patterns and ways of being, and it allows you to maybe even have better relationships with those people you already know. So I'm really happy about that. This is absolutely true. Contentment. I think that this brings you a lot of peace. I think that it brings you a lot of stability if you use it right. As long as you recognize the ways in which you've held yourself back, and you move forward towards this brand new thing. It might alienate you from some people, but just do it. Just go for it. Life's too short. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. Like, subscribe, do the things.